For decades, Cliff Richard was a fixture of British pop culture, a musical icon whose clean-cut image, catchy hits, and enduring stage presence earned him a devoted following across generations. From his early days as Britain's answer to Elvis Presley, to a successful transition into mainstream pop stardom with hits like Summer Holiday and Congratulations, Cliff seemed invincible. But over recent years, something changed. His presence in the media diminished, new music became rare, and public appearances grew sparse. Fans speculated, the tabloids hinted, and for a time, Cliff Richard seemed to vanish from the spotlight altogether. Now, the truth behind his retreat is finally becoming clear. It wasn't a decline in popularity, or the inevitable march of time that pushed Cliff away from the limelight. It was trauma. The catalyst was a highly public and deeply distressing investigation that turned his life upside down. In 2014, South Yorkshire police raided his Berkshire home in connection with an alleged historic sexual abuse case. No charges were ever filed, and in 2016, the Crown Prosecution Service officially announced that there was insufficient evidence to proceed, but the damage had already been done. The incident had been broadcast live on the BBC, and the intrusion into Cliff's private life was as aggressive as it was unjustified. Though he was entirely exonerated, the scars remained. Cliff has since spoken candidly about the emotional toll of the ordeal. In interviews, he described the period as the most traumatic of his life, confessing that the mere suggestion of wrongdoing shattered his trust and sense of security. He withdrew from the public gaze, not out of shame, but as a necessary act of self-preservation. After decades in the spotlight, the experience left him raw and vulnerable. He later took legal action against the BBC and the police, winning a landmark privacy case that affirmed his rights and those of all individuals not charged with a crime to be treated with dignity. But this legal victory, while vindicating, did not undo the pain. Cliff chose to distance himself from the glare of fame and reassess his relationship with the public. He took refuge in Portugal, where he owns a villa, spending more time in peace, away from the pressures of the entertainment industry. His choice was not a full retirement. He never officially announced an end to his career, but rather a recalibration. He became more selective about his appearances, focusing on projects that held personal meaning rather than public expectation. In recent years, he has made a quiet yet deliberate return. Albums like Rise Up and a reissue of The Rock Connection hinted at a man regaining his footing. But even as he dipped back into music, Cliff made it clear that he no longer lived for the spotlight. Instead, he embraced a slower, more intentional pace. His appearances on talk shows and in documentaries revealed a man reflective, grateful, and deeply aware of the price of fame. He's no longer chasing chart success. He doesn't need to. His legacy is secure. In truth, Cliff Richard never fully disappeared. He simply stepped away to heal, protect his dignity, and reclaim a sense of control over his life. His withdrawal wasn't about fading relevance or personal failure. It was a courageous response to injustice and emotional survival. Today, he's a symbol of resilience, a reminder that even icons are human, and that sometimes the bravest thing a star can do is to retreat, rebuild, and return on their own terms. For fans, knowing the reason behind his absence adds depth to his story and makes his quiet resurgence all the more powerful.